Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 2, verse number 10. Devasya Mayaya Ye Chanyad Asad Ashritaha Brahmyati Dhir Na Tad Vakya Atmani Uptat Mano Haro Devasya Maya Sprista Ye Chanyad Asad Asritaha Brahmayate Dirna Tad Vakya Atmani Uptat Mano Haro Devasya Maya Sprishta Ye Chanyad Asad Ashritaha Brahmayati Dirna Tad Vakya Atmani Uptat Mano Haro Devasya Maya Sprishta Ye Chanyad Asad Ashritaha Brahmayati Dirna Tad Vakya Atmani Uptat Mano Haro
Devasya Maya Sprista Ye Chanya Dasad Asritaha Brahmate Dhyeta Natad Vakir Atmani Uptat Manoharo
Atmani Uptat Manoharo
Devasya Maya Sprista
Devasya Maya Sprishta Mataji's? Devasya Maya Sprishta Devasya, of the personality of Godhead. Maya, by the influence of external energy. Sristaha, infected. Ye, all those. Cha, and. Anyat, others. Asat, illusory. Ashritaha, being taken to. Brahmati, bewilder. Dhi, intelligence. Na, not. Tat, of them. Vakyaha, by those words. Atmani, in the Supreme Self. Upta Atmanaha, surrendered souls. Haro, unto the Lord. Translation. Under no circumstances can the words of persons bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. So please repeat. Under no circumstances can the words of persons bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to all the evidences of the Vedas. He is accepted by all the Acharyas, including Sripad Sankaracharya. But when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently, and therefore their calculations of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is, and all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family. And they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary man, human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusory energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusory energy acts very powerfully on them because, in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts in plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha, the demoniac kings of the earth. Such persons have no faith in the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by the reactions of work. Na mam karmani limpate. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed, but those who are disturbed by the statements of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhava meant in this verse. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmuritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamrupa Kadamayam Sharati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahakana Raghunatan Tan Savidevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sri Vishaka Lalita Vishakam Visham Sa He Karuna Krishna He Karuna Krishna He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Maneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very nice verse. And first of all, I want to discuss who are the Mahatmas. Here the story is about Vidura and Uddhava. Both of them are Mahatmas. Vidura is asking questions, actually to Maitreya Muni. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are three speakers and three main listeners. One is Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. And Sutta Goswami is speaking to the sages of Namasharanya. And the third main characters in the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam are Vidur is speaking, asking questions to Maitreya Muni. So these three conversations keep coming up time to time, not always in chronological order. And chapters 1 to 4 of this Canto 3, they are actually questions by Vidur to Uddhava, not Maitreya Muni, to Uddhava first, these 4 chapters. So there's a little description of who are the Mahatmas. So I want to actually read a bit about Uddhava and Vidur, why they are called Mahatmas. And those are in chapter Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, 13 and 14. So if we refer to 13 and 14, chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, then we'll realize who is a Mahatma. So let me just try and get that. So 13 is Mahatmanas to Mam Partha. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. Krishna actually protects the Mahatmas because Mahatmas surrender to Krishna. So it is simple, he reciprocates with his devotees. So those who are surrendered, Krishna will look after them. 1866, Krishna says, you leave everything, all other religions, just surrender to me and I will look after you. So here, the whole purport is that if you surrender to Krishna, then he will reciprocate. So here it says, they are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. In this verse, the description of Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of a Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. Yeah, so this is the important thing. And then later on, Srila Prabhupada says, the guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So the Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna, because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original supreme person, the cause of all causes. So there it says, a description of Mahatma, and then the next verse, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, there, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So when two Mahatmas get together, they like to discuss about Krishna, and that is explained very clearly in chapter 10, verse number 9. Yeah, Matchitta Matagata Prana Bodhyanta Parasparam Katyantascha Mam Nityam Tushyante Cha Ramanti Cha. So the translation which Srila Prabhupada says, 10:9, I will read exactly what Prabhupada says. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their hearts are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this is very important verse. Obviously the Mahatmas, they like talking about Krishna when they get together. So here, in this particular, or just a few verses before this one, Vidura is asking Uddhava, and Uddhava is trying to answer the questions, but because of his trying to remember Krishna's pastimes, etc., because he's always engaged in Krishna service. Even when he was only 5 years old, he had a little doll of Krishna and he was meditating, worshipping, feeding. He was trying to engage in devotional service to Krishna. So Uddhava was totally a devotee, a natural devotee, it's said in the Bhagavatam. And he was only 5 years old and he started worshipping Krishna. He was also a cousin of Krishna. So the brother of Nanda Maharaj, Vasudev, the brother of Vasudev was, his son was Uddhava. So they're cousins. So that's the relationship. But they were brought up together, and Uddhava was a great counselor actually, a great minister. He was always helping Krishna with decisions. Some of them were very important decisions. Some later on in 11th Canto, Krishna actually asks Uddhava, what should I do? Should I go here or should I go there? He has a dilemma whether to go and help the king or help the another party. So there were two, from management point, there were two discussions. So again, Krishna has total faith in Uddhava because he's a good minister. He can then direct very nicely. Same with Vidura. He was also very intelligent, and he was trying to guide Dhritarashtra with the right philosophy. But because of the blind love for his son, Dhritarashtra, he did not listen to good advice. Vidura actually said to Dhritarashtra that if you get rid of this son of yours who is sort of brackets, inverted commas, in envy or envy personified, he's going to destroy the whole family. You should get rid of him. But Dhritarashtra, being blinded by love, he was blind by nature, but he was blinded by love, so he did not listen to good advice. And then Duryodhana heard that, that instruction given to his elder brother, to his uncle, his father. This Duryodhana then took the very nasty step. He said, this man who is born of a maidservant, and he's living in our house, we are feeding him, we are looking after him, and he's always trying to help the Pandavas. So let's get rid of him once and for all. So very sharp words. And then Vidur, he is intelligent and he takes this as a blessing, mercy of the Lord. So whenever things happen, sometimes, we get some comments from somebody and it may hurt us. One should think that this is Krishna's hand. So in every situation, we must look at Krishna's hand. A lot of people, they come or discuss with me or other senior devotees, or I don't call myself senior, but other experienced devotees, they have problems. Everyone in the material world has problems. So when they come to us, they want some solutions. But Once, Maharaj said, somebody, they were going through a divorce. So Maharaj said, don't worry, look at Krishna's hand in this situation. You see, they are all suffering, everyone's suffering. But when you look at Krishna's hand, this is a better solution, Something's coming out of that bad situation. So Vidur was a pure devotee of the Lord. He understood that this is mercy of Krishna. Let me go on pilgrimage. Let me get out of this situation. So he left his bow and arrow at the door step and he left for pilgrimage. And that's how we should also do that. When you get after a certain age, then my Guru Maharaj, Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, he mentions in one of the purports that as you get older, then your son or your daughter gets married, then you have grandchildren, or whatever. And then in one way, they don't really, you have your own set ways, you want to do this, you want to do that. They don't really like you interfering with their system. See? So before you get told off that get out, we don't want to hear, too old and you can't do this service, you can't do that service or whatever, you don't even work or get money, you're tired, and wasting time. Before that situation happens, one should get out and start preaching. Start preaching. And we have a wonderful movement, ISKCON, Hare Krishna. It's a preaching movement. It's not that you stay at home, read and be satisfied. That is not the purpose of ISKCON. ISKCON is a preaching movement. As you get older, just think that you want to go to the sites of pilgrimage like Vidur did. Increase your piety. That's what he wanted to do. He could have seen Krishna straight away. But no, he wanted to go for pilgrimage to increase his piety. Only then he can see Krishna. So we all should learn one lesson, that is, it doesn't matter, you don't have to get old, you just go now and start preaching. And next month, December, is a golden opportunity for everyone to take part. So we all go out and whatever little we know about Krishna, we tell them. That's our preaching from, and we want to help Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is saying here, always remember that I am always with you. So Krishna is always with us, Srila Prabhupada is with us, as long as we want to surrender to them. That is the point. We have to surrender to Krishna. We have to surrender to Srila Prabhupada. So this Srila Prabhupada's movement is a preaching movement. We have to try and distribute books, distribute the knowledge, but first we have to know the knowledge. Srila Prabhupada was very angry at one point when he learned that people are distributing books without reading them. So, we have to also try. I know there are so many books out there, but our if you want to serve and love Krishna, love Prabhupada, we have to read the books. And he's gone through so much effort in translating into English so that we can read. So we should do that. That's my advice to everyone, suggestion. I'm also learning to read and understand. Can we have, I'll ask you when the right time comes. Oh, actually almost is the right time. Anyway, I will come back to you. So, 2 examples I wanted to tell you about the devotees who are fixed in Krishna's service. Okay, and 2 analogies I want to quote. One is this one here about tortoise. That's in Bhagavad Gita 258. So one who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. So the best example Srila Prabhupada is saying about the tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them at any time. Similarly, the senses of the Krishna conscious person are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. So here Arjuna is being taught to use his senses for the service of the Krishna instead of his own satisfaction. So keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of tortoise. The other one is, as a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalists, these two transcendentalists, Vidura and Uddhava, they are transcendentalists, whose mind is controlled, remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendent self. So they are not wavered. Yeah? So they are fixed in knowledge. So if the mind is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, it will remain as steady as the flame of a candle that is in a room where there is no wind. So it is truly Krishna conscious person always absorbed in transcendence. He is never disturbed. So in our verse, we go back to our verse, there are so many people who are trying to blaspheme us, they're atheistic, they're Mayavaris, they all want to put us down. They want to tell the story that Krishna was at fault doing this, during killing of the sons of Dhritarashtra and also Jarasandha. But we know as devotees that this was pastime of Krishna, and he comes as the director of a play and he directs everything. So we just have to follow his directions. He's the main director, and he comes and tells us what to do. And he plays different, he does different dramas just to enlighten us. And his main job, Krishna's job, he's very merciful. And in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami says, Namo Mahavadunya Krishna Prema Prayate Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratusya Namaha. He is very merciful. So what he wants to do is take us back to his kingdom. So we all have to just follow the process and follow the orders from spiritual masters, senior devotees, and just engage in devotional service. Then Maya will not touch us. That is the main point. Maya will not touch us. In Bhagavad Gita 7:25, Krishna says, Naham prakashya sarvasya. I'm not manifest to these people, these envious people. So, foolish people, unintelligent people, Krishna doesn't show that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't need to. He doesn't waste time on them, basically. He's covered by his internal potency. Kunti Mata says, Lord deliberately covers himself with Yoga Maya. But we are all suffering because we are covered by Mahamaya. We have to get out of Mahamaya and take the process of devotional service, so then we are covered by Yoga Maya or by Krishna's internal energy. So if we can do that, that would be good. There are 4 types of people who never surrender. This is in 7:15. They are grossly foolish, lowest of mankind, deluded speculators, and atheists, which is in this particular verse, today's verse. But in the next verse, 7:16, there are people who are distressed, they desire wealth, they are inquisitive, search knowledge of the Absolute. So they are the ones who want to know about Krishna. And I think that's mainly 2 items we need from Krishna. One is his grace, and one we need his mercy. So I will sum up by reading some parts of 7:17, and that really describes exactly how we should interpret this verse, today's verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. of this, the one who is in full knowledge and always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Krishna is dear to his devotees. Yes? His Holiness Keshav Maharaj always quotes Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.68. There it said, Sadhavo Hridayam Mayam. So Krishna is in his heart and devotees are in Krishna's heart. So here this is a parallel verse in the Bhagavad Gita, which I researched and I found out that it's the same verse. And then it says, I will just paraphrase a little bit here. When one is fully purified, these are devotees who have reached the, instead of Brahma and Paramatma, but Bhagavan stage, they can realize Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like Vidur and Uddhava. So they come to the knowledge of, when one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position to be the eternal servant of God. So by association with pure devotees, you become yourself a little pure. And then it says, in executing devotional service is very dear to Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. So our verse, it says he can, people are trying to contaminate Mahatmas. It's impossible because Krishna is protecting them. Yes, this is the whole point. Krishna will protect you. Doesn't matter about when you go out in book distribution. They say, no, I am this, I am that, I'm Krishna, I'm Muslim, don't preach to me. So, so many things happen out there. But you just carry on. Okay, no problem. You believe in God, but believe properly. Try and follow the instruction by Jesus Christ, thou shalt not kill. So, but you're not doing that. So how can we say you are actually following what you are following? So we can keep arguing and discussing. But some people, they've got mercy from Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. And they will then say, okay, I'll take a book. So unless there is mercy, there is no increase in spiritual development. Everyone has got this inbuilt, dormant love of Krishna. We just have to go there and just sparkle it, lighten it. When you're doing a barbecue or something, there's this lightning, what do you call it? Lightning sparks something. Anyway, all of you know what I mean, that you have to, just start. Put some camphor or something so that the fire starts. I think in havans we have to do that. There's aranya wood or some special wood. You can rub that and start a havan. So all we have to do out there is ignite the fuse, ignite the spark, and then hopefully the flame slowly by Guru Maharaj or senior devotees, they will just fan it, so the fire of knowledge will increase. Okay, I will stop there, and you had a question, Prabhu. What is your name, please?
Sam.
Sam. Okay, take the mic here, so this can...
Hare Krishna. So just in regards to book distribution, I helped yesterday, and I don't want to cause offence. So when I do distribute, so what would qualify me? Yeah, I've read the Bhagavad Gita, so am I able to distribute it, or?
Yeah.
So,
good question.
yeah.
Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, whatever little you know, right? Give to others. Yeah, you don't need to be a professor or something. Just say Krishna. 2-year-old Saraswati, little baby girl of Shyam Sundar. Srila Prabhupada asked her, who is Krishna? And she answered, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's it. She then, on a Pandal program, she said on the mic, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My niece Sital, she was told by Guru Maharaj to read every Krishna story. So she memorized at the age of 8 all the stories. And then I think at that time, Indrajamna Maharaj saw her and he said, "Can we take your little princess of India to Poland?" So then Indrajamna Maharaj, he told her to go on the stage and read a Krishna storybook, Krishna story. So she repeated parrot fashion. Children pick up everything. Up to the age of 8, they pick up anything and everything. So just repeat. Whatever you learn, you repeat. It's easy. Just say Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's it. People love it. And the word Krishna is attractive. By just speaking about Krishna and the person hearing about Krishna, you will see a smile is going to come out of his face. He'll be happy. It's amazing, isn't it? I think, what was your experience yesterday? You went on book distribution?
Well, for me, I go a bit anecdotal with it, where I say to people how it's helped me and how other practices, they might say I'm Christian, but how do you connect with Jesus every day? How do you connect with God every day? So the mantra is the way we connect to Krishna every day. And you just see like the proof's in the pudding, and you don't go off hearsay, be the main datum and try it, experience it. So when I give even just a flyer out, I go, Hare Krishna, and then they have the flyer. So it's like sowing seeds of love, and eventually they might be curious and like, oh, Hare Krishna flyer, back to Vedanta Mana, I will go.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
I can see, everyone can see his face. He's smiling, he's happy.
Oh, every day. Haribol.
This is the magic of Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
So I'd love to do, I keep hearing about this marathon in December. I'd love to.
It's a start.
I'll take Hare Krishna.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, there's 3. Oh my God, okay. First give to Parama Karuna, please, senior.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the class. Prabhu, in the text itself, a surrendered soul is not affected by atheistic perspectives and ideas. They're not disturbed. And then in the purport, at the end of the purport, Prabhupada says, those who are disturbed by atheistic ideas are also condemned, meaning even devotees who are affected by atheistic ideas are condemned. So, yeah, if we're not surrendered souls and we are affected by atheistic ideas, how should we function and how should we kind of take in things, for example, the news or different perspectives of the material world that's given, in the media and so on and so forth, and about religion and about God and so on and so forth. Otherwise, we're kind of, Prabhupada is saying we're condemned because we're not surrendered souls. Especially if we get affected by it, we get disturbed by it. And how much should we take seriously these things? Or should we just completely avoid altogether, not listen, not get involved in anything of the outside world, the news, whatever like that? Or should we be careful? Or how much should we get involved?
It's a very good question, very intricate question. My attempted answer, I don't know much, but there are different levels of devotees. And one who is on an advanced level, he will be able to see the situation in a different light. And they can read even newspaper and read the news and interpret from a Krishna's point of view. So they are in a different category, and they will be able to understand what the real meaning of Krishna consciousness is in relation to the atheistic news. For example, Shonak Rishi, if he reads an article in the Times or whatever, he will interpret it differently to what I will. I will try and avoid. This is my level. I will avoid, okay, TV, something's happening here or there. We should be, one fault of devotees in general is that they are lost. They don't understand about the world news. So in one way it's good because you are confined just to Krishna consciousness, just cleaning the temple, worshipping deity, and you're closed in the right environment, only with devotees. Yeah? But as I've seen in the last 10 years traveling with Maharajas, and when you travel, then you see the reality outside. And these wars which are going on here or there, there's some conflicts happening. But that is the nature of the material world. There's Mandasu Manda, there's a verse, and then that verse says, even our small quarrels, like I gave the example of divorce and all this, it doesn't need a big thing. Small thing can, finish a marriage. So this is the age of quarrel. So these wars are happening because of a bigger scale, of the same quarrel, but on a bigger scale. But for a Krishna conscious person to understand that, okay, I want to go and preach in the war zone, or like Parashuram Prabhu, he realized that people are dying, because there's no food supply in Ukraine or something. But a devotee in that standard, he did, find a way of going through A and B and C, and then make sure there's, food for life organized in that part of the world. Now that is a Krishna conscious person trying to help people become more Krishna conscious. So usually when he gives out prasadam, he gives a little leaflet. And he does this every year. Now, it's still Kartik, so he's going in villages and distributing free prasadam, bananas or whatever. And then alongside with the free prasadam, he's giving a little leaflet about introduction to Krishna consciousness. And this is what we should all be doing. We can give some prasadam, we can give a book, but then at the same time, we should have a follow-up that, hello, you want to know more about Krishna consciousness? Contact me, contact the temple, contact this. So, in answer to your question, there are different levels of devotees who can handle different things, and we should not turn a blind eye to the material world, because this is also one of the energies of Krishna. External energy is Maya. So we should learn both, but apply only the spiritual side of things to the material problem. And that's my understanding, that we can look at every situation, but see Krishna's hand in that. I think that would be very good. Yeah? That would be very good. If you're going to India after Sunday, say if you go on Monday and try and distribute books, good way of maybe starting off, India did well or Australia did well, in cricket. That could be your starting point, and then they'll be interested in you. Do you understand? Because there's a final coming up on Sunday. So whoever wins, you keep talking. It doesn't matter who won, who didn't win. But you just talk about cricket, and then they're interested. Then you can say, here, take a book, this will help you. They might be interested. So that's how to see the world situation and then preach accordingly. This is my view. At least they'll be more favorable because they know what's happening in the world. But sometimes when I find that when you travel, some devotees are just inside the circle and they don't know how to buy a ticket, for a train or something. We should not do that. Do you understand? We have to be living in the real world, so we should also be practical. Does that make sense? Sorry, I didn't properly answer your question, but it's an attempt. Okay, there was another hand behind, and then this side, David. One behind, yeah. True? Okay, it's done. Hare Krishna,
Thank you
David.
for that, Prabhu. The question I have is about, you mentioned the different stages of devotees at different levels. I'm wondering about what, in terms of Mahatma, how do we view a Mahatma in terms of the different categories?
That is actually answered by Srila Prabhupada. So let me quote Srila Prabhupada, yeah? It's 17 says everything. Okay. 7:17. Okay. Free from all contamination of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can also become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And earlier, there's the word, what is pure devotional service? Anya bilasita sunyam, jnana karmadi anarvitram, anukulyana krishnanu, shilanam bhaktir uttama. One should render transcendental service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Now, most of us, including myself, we are still at this stage that we want some material profit. We want some gain. We want to do this. We want to do that through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. Yeah. So one example I'll give you is I have a box of mangoes. Okay, I bought a box of mangoes in May or June. Indian mangoes, very nice and sweet. So I buy that, and then I think, okay, let me give Krishna one. Okay, and I'll keep the other 11. So that is what you want to be. You want most of it. Yeah, 11 is yours and one is Krishna's. Slowly, when you develop Krishna consciousness, you want to then give him, say, half yours, half mine, right? 6 yours, 6 mine. Okay? Yeah? But then there will be a stage where what we do at home, we just offer the whole box to Krishna. Yes? And then you don't have to offer every single time. You just offer the whole box to Krishna. And then Krishna accepts, and then you can eat mango. Do you follow? So when you surrender completely and you just give everything to Krishna, yeah, he actually is very merciful and he says, okay, now you take it. Now you take the prasadam. So it's up to us, which level we are in. Does that help you? We slowly try and give everything to Krishna. And we don't have any material desires, we don't have anything. But our nature is to have desires. You can't get rid of desires. So the solution is to divert those desires in Krishna's service. So if you feel hungry, you want to have a mango, offer it to Krishna and then have it. It's simple. Offer everything to Krishna. Yukta Vairagya principle. Just anything you see, everything you see, just give to Krishna. Do you think that will help? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh yeah, you want a question? Okay, last question. Karo. Last question.
Hare Krishna. Just on your point about sometimes when doing book distribution, you might say about the cricket match and maybe use that as a point of discussion to then eventually talk about the books. Isn't there a danger that they take the books based on our seeming interest in mundane topics rather than their interest in the books? And so then, because sometimes I've experienced that I talk about some mundane topic with the person to kind of get them to engage in a conversation, and then maybe I talk about the book for like 30 seconds, and then they take the book, but then in my mind I'm thinking they're not actually going to read. They just were taking because we had some cool topic about some mundane topic, cool conversation about some mundane topic.
I think you are right. It is my fault to give that example. But just to break the ice, so to speak, if you talk about something current, they might be encouraged to come to you. And then Srila Prabhupada will do the rest. If you give them a book, the book will, they'll already do what they want. Actually, I was told off by His Holiness Keshav Maharaj once, because I said I'm telling them that the books I'm distributing, the Lakshmi which we'll get, will help the Food for Life. Yeah? So, people are hungry. So many people wanted to give or buy a book, give some Lakshmi donation towards a book, because they wanted to see that you people are doing something useful. So when that comment arose that, okay, you are doing, with this money you're going to feed the poor, especially during COVID time. So people like to give a donation for that purpose. So it was a little bit of a contradiction that, can we say that or no, yes or no? Because they want to give donation. They want to take the books, provided you use the money for the right cause. So it was a bit complicated, but Maharaj told me at the time, Maharaj said, no, we are just purely giving them transcendental knowledge, and Nityananda Prabhu is going to give them mercy, and we just go according to our system, and we just distribute books, on that front. So I know that example, and maybe that is the way to go forward. Simple, just give transcendental books. It is transcendental. If they take it, there is no mistake about mundane or not mundane approach, which I was just recommending. But that was just to break the little ice, and then people might be interested in taking a book. So maybe this is a point of discussion, but I would rather just follow Maharaj's instruction and just keep straight path. People who got the mercy of Nityananda will take the book. Those who haven't, they have to wait for next time when they meet another devotee. Yeah. So, forgive me for my offense at Maharaj's lotus feet and Shri Radha Gokulananda. Hare Krishna. Does that answer your question? Just go straight line, it's nothing wrong with that. Krishna consciousness, like Vidur and Uddhav, just focus and that's it. Keshav Maharaj actually ended nicely in one of the, in his Bhagavatam summary, the book. And he said there are four beings. Let's finish with this. One is Chatak bird. In the same canto, he summarizes. Chatak bird, he hears, or he only drinks the water from the rain, pure. So there it's explained that you go from this pure source. The source is pure. Book distribution, Nityananda, Haridas Thakur. So we just follow the system. That's one. The second one was parrot. That was the third one. But anyway, parrot, you just repeat what you've learned from Vaisheshika Prabhu or Keshav Maharaj about book distribution or Vishwambhara Prabhu. We just repeat exactly what they are saying and then distribute books. So that's the second one. And the third one is fish. Fish only opens the eyes and, is focused on what. So you just focus on book distribution. Just focus with the methods. And there was a second one which I just missed out. Chatak bird. I haven't got the book here. I wonder what that was. Saves. Anybody know? Do you know the example? No. So bird, fish, and parrot. There's one second one there. Anyway, I'm sorry, my memory is giving up. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All praise to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Second one. Hare Krishna. I have to find that second one.